Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're going to be reviewing the Diesel Unholy Cocktail in the Torpedo Belicoso. It is a 5x56 ring gauge. This is a Nicaraguan cigar. It has a Pennsylvania Broadleaf wrapper with Nicaraguan binder and long filler, and it's been blended by AJ Fernandez. I'm interested in this cigar. I've heard a lot of good things. I'm a big fan of Diesel cigars in general, and really anything AJ Fernandez. I've never tried anything that I didn't like by him. Most recently, I had the AJ Fernandez New World, and I loved it. It was really spicy, and I love spicy cigars. So, might be a little much for the faint of heart, but I like it spicy.
Sound good.
This wrapper is very dark. I don't know if it mentioned that it was a Maduro or not, but I mean, that is a dark, oily cigar right there. Something kind of like sweet and fragrant in there too. Foot smells like a sweet tobacco. Smells very interesting. A little hint of like dark chocolate, but hard to kind of get anything off the smell. I'm going to go ahead and cut the end off here, rocking a Torpedo, so we'll just chop that pointy end off and then hit it with a cold draw real quick and see what we get from there. Cold draw, I'm getting almost like a gumdrop flavor, like licorice, like black licorice. And it's one of the first times I think I've had black licorice off a cold draw, but it tastes almost exactly like that. I put my finger on it immediately. And then just like dark, oily flavor, like dark leather with this black licorice, which has a little bit of sweetness to it. But it reminds me like a black licorice candy. And I'm not a fan of black licorice, but it tastes really good in this. That's really interesting.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
now because it's kind of sweet and
It has this subtle sweetness, but it's this really dark flavor, real oily
so like
and
it
dark.
should be bitter. Is that like a bittersweet kind of thing?
Have you had black licorice before? It has this like artificial sweet candy flavor to it, but not that of like Laffy Taffy or chocolate or anything like that. It's just like this artificial sweetness. And black licorice, I'll bring some to the office one day for you to try it. It's not very good, but it has a very distinct flavor, and that's what I'm getting from this. And I'm sure it'll blend with some spice notes and some leather and probably some dark earthy notes. But that's what I'm getting from this. This is just a dark cigar, and you can kind of see at the foot there some of that. Or maybe you can't. It might be a little dark. See if you can get a light on this. The filler right there in the middle. It's kind of dark right as you get to the center. So I'm not sure if that's ligero or just a little oily, but I would expect this to more than likely be on the medium to full-bodied side and similar range. Like out of 10, I'd probably say the strength is going to end up being close to a 7. We'll do all of that later in the review when we get to the end, but that's just my guess. So I'm excited to find out. That's intriguing. Let's go ahead and light this mother trucker. It's time to hit the road, Jack. It's a very hot torch. We have a buddy that likes to stick it real far in there, so I'm trying to be careful not to do the same. One of the most overlooked parts of smoking a cigar is the very beginning, lighting it up. Oftentimes, people light it and get it going really quick and just don't think about it too much. But if you stop, kind of think about it, spend some more time doing it, you're going to end up with a better lit cigar in the end.
A lot of cigar reviews that we see on the internet, people don't really do the first puff like we do, because we like to get that first like virgin puff from the cigar. So that's why we light all the way without puffing on it as we light, because so we prefer to have the cigar all lit before we actually puff.
The truth is, you're more than likely going to be smoking this for well over an hour. So what's a couple more minutes lighting it properly and just getting a really good experience out of it?
Yeah, we do have the time.
Not all the time. Yeah, as I've mentioned before, it's just a funny thing to say. If you're smoking a cigar, you should have the time. But to each their own. By no means am I the cigar police, so enjoy it how you want. All right, let's jump into this first puff of this Unholy Cocktail. That cold draw had me very intrigued to see what I'm going to get here. So here goes nothing. Very peppery and leathery. More leather on the forefront there. A little farm like earthiness, but it's hard to kind of make out whether that's barnyard, is it grass. It's just kind of an earthy flavor and leathery. I'm not getting any of that black licorice that I was getting on the cold draw, but I am getting a lot of pepper. It might be crushed red pepper because it's not exactly kind of like that bitterness of a black pepper.
Or
it's spicy,
okay.
not in a, just kind of like on the tongue. It's a little spicy on the middle forefront of the tongue. The smoke feels like meaty, chewy smoke, if that makes sense. It's thick, it's dense, has a really nice mouthfeel, and that kind of gave me a little bit of that, like a natural sweet tobacco flavor with a little more pepper and leather, because the leather's smooth.
It smells sweet. It smells a little bit sweet.
I'm getting no sweetness on the taste, on the palate, but it did smell sweet originally. And the cold puff, the cold draw gave me a lot of black licorice, which was inherently sweet.
Okay.
So I'm interested to see how this develops if we get into the second, third, after we pass through the first, if it starts giving me a little sweetness or how it'll perform. I don't know. It's an interesting blend. So, but if there's anything I know about AJ Fernandez,
it's supposed to be good.
I can't have any complaints. So we'll check back up with you soon. So far, we've had pretty consistent flavor with the pepper notes, spicy, a little earthy, and I'm even getting kind of in the background this oily, like espresso, like roasted coffee bean flavor. So let's get in here and see what else we're getting as it develops into the second, third here.
Oh, I didn't catch that. That was a pretty good one.
Hilton doesn't like my smoke rings.
I might have caught that one.
Yeah, more of the same. You get that crushed red pepper flavor, leather, earthy. Still that black licorice from the cold draw is nowhere to be found. If I would have never tasted that flavor on the cold draw, wouldn't care at all. But now I find myself wanting something more because I tasted it prior. But can't complain. More of the same. It's got that spicy flavor that I like, the earthiness. Now I have introduced a little bit of like this espresso flavor, just roasted espresso, kind of leaving my mouth watering a little bit.
You know?
All right, so we've made it almost all the way through the second, third here. That burn is relatively even. I mean, there's a little waviness there, but it's been burning really well. The ash holds on for almost an inch every time, and I kind of tap it and it falls off. I'm not the cigar smoker that tries to keep the longest ash as I possibly can, but I also don't force it to fall off either. It's been it's very well constructed. It's been burning evenly this whole time.
Very nice white ash. So
there's been no touch-ups or corrections needed just because it wasn't burning correctly or anything like that. So that is a result of a properly humidified cigar. A lot of the times I see reviews of cigars where it's burning in like a U shape on the side, and sometimes it could be indicative that the cigar is poor quality, but a lot of times I wonder how well the cigars are kept. Do they pay attention to the humidity? Because all that stuff plays a factor into how the leaf burns. It's a natural handmade product, so you can't expect it to perform routinely all the time when there's all these things that you have to control. Temperature, humidity, etc. Let's get back into this review here and check in with the cigar, see what we're getting. I'm getting kind of like burning wood, like a bonfire sensation smell. Flavor, the taste of it has kind of transitioned from overwhelmingly, in a good way, spicy and peppery to now it's kind of mellowed out. I taste a lot of that dark, earthy, like soil, dirt flavor. The smell hasn't changed much. It still smells a little sweet on the wrapper. It is a Pennsylvania broadleaf wrapper. I need to look up how that kind of compares to maybe a Connecticut broadleaf. I'm sure the climates are different. Pennsylvania, I believe, is a little bit more harsh of a climate, so the flavor profile might reflect that a little bit.
But why is getting that sweet smell? It's
the sweet smell
intriguing.
is intriguing, and it'd be interesting for you to try black licorice to see if that is what you're smelling, because that's what I got off the cold draw originally. Very consistent cigar, and complex. It's kind of changed and evolved as I've smoked it, which is a great thing to find in a cigar, unless you like one flavor and you want that flavor throughout. I mean, there's still pepper and spice throughout the whole cigar, so you're not missing anything, but it develops and it grows, and right now it's kind of gotten into this more like dirt, soily flavor, and it's very good, not in a bad way at all. I think sometimes when you talk about the flavors of cigars, it's like wood and dirt and farm, and it sounds weird, but
or burnt tobacco.
Burnt tobacco, yeah. And I don't know if maybe that sweet smell could be like sweet tobacco smell, because I am getting, obviously a little bit of tobacco flavor in here as well. But the way the smoke coats my mouth, seems like a full-bodied cigar. It's dense, and it's just kind of like filling my mouth and sitting on my tongue. It's very, very enjoyable, and so far I'm very happy with it. I'll check in with you once we kind of get completely past the second third here. We enter the final third and get some final thoughts on this cigar. See you then. We have reached the final third here. We still have relatively even burns, kind of gone off on this side a little bit. Nothing crazy. Let's check in with the flavor here and wrap up this review for you guys. Getting a lot of earthiness on this cigar, and a flavor profile that I get a lot that I'm noticing maybe on the end in the final third of cigars. I can't tell if it's kind of like a nutty flavor, but I've gotten this the past few times. I got this flavor on the CAO Brasilia. I got this on, what was that other one? It wasn't the Christoph Maduro. It might have been, I believe it was the Padron 1964 Anniversary Series.
Yeah, that was.
And it's giving me a very, very similar flavor here at the end that I love. And if I would have gotten more of this throughout the middle, this would have been like an awesome cigar. I'm getting a little bit here at the end now. The only way I can describe it is kind of like peanutty. But you still get that pepper spice. You still get the earthiness. You still get leather. And the aroma is still kind of got that sweet aroma, like sweet tobacco. I don't smell the licorice anymore. I was for a little bit. Overall, at the price point of this cigar, I believe it's in the $5s.
If you're buying bulk.
In bulk. If you buy a single, it could be around $7 something. I'm not sure.
8, 9.
I bought a pack.
7 and 10 probably.
But I think for the price point, if you like bolder cigars, spicier cigars, earthy flavors, dark wrappers, I think you'd really be interested in this cigar. Go out and just buy a single stick at your local cigar lounge and just try it out. I promise, if you're into those kind of flavor profiles, you're going to like it. It has very dense, thick smoke that coats your mouth and your tongue, and it's just been a very enjoyable cigar. That being said, I really like Torpedoes too. I don't smoke them enough. I generally smoke a lot of just Robusto, some are box press, but not a lot of Torpedoes. And just the way that it smokes, the way it fits in your mouth, you can put on your teeth, it just feels natural. So I really like this cigar, specifically in this Torpedo. Belicoso shape. Go try it out. Final score on this guy. I'm going to give it an even 90. What I'm getting right now, it is, and again, it's playing to the flavor profiles that I'm accustomed to and that I really enjoy, which definitely is going to influence the overall score. But if it had more of what I'm getting right now in this final third, it would easily be like up near 94 if it was this consistent flavor throughout it. It's just something that clearly I enjoy. So, yeah, it is the Diesel Unholy Cocktail, the 5x56 Torpedo, and it ended up with a score of a 90. So go out, check them out, and really appreciate you watching. We do take this review from our podcast on the main channel, so check it out. See what we're talking about. This week we were talking about Halloween and the history of it and kind of traditions and different cultures and religion with all that. So it got interesting. And there were a couple of times where I was talking so much I kind of forgot about the cigar. So check it out. It's pretty interesting. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.